Dungeons are a huge part of the experience of Skyrim. If done right, they can take your gameplay to the next level. The legendary Dungeons creation created by TrainWiz brings some of the experiences from the Elder Scrolls Online into Skyrim. The pack comes with 2 dungeons, but today I'm only going to go over one of them, and it's called Frost Vault. A group of Altmer craftsmen claim to understand the secrets of the Dwemer, but their intentions are anything but good. As they excavate the lost Frost Vault, the powers they wield are beginning to surge out of control. You are tasked to turn the right levers and valves to gain access to the Drake engine. Within these tunnels, a great dwarven architect committed a terrible sacrilege. Put his sins to rest, and you will learn some new spells. Dungeons in the Elder Scrolls Online are some of the best experiences you can get. In ESO, there are people who will train for many hours and build their characters a certain way just so they can play through these dungeons at veteran difficulty. They get through these dungeons with a team of 4, and everyone must work together and know what they're doing in order to get through it. Dungeons are some of the most fun and rewarding experiences in ESO. TrainWiz is a veteran mod author that has been creating mods for Bethesda games for quite a few years now. If he's not on a team of modders or working on his own mods by himself, he's working on an indie game called Underspace. My favorite Creation Club content, Forgotten Seasons, was primarily made by TrainWiz. It's another dungeon that adds quests, unique enemies, unique items, and my favorite mount ever in Skyrim. Frost Vault was originally built by Movnak to protect the Wrathstone from invaders. The Wrathstone was thought to be a key that would unlock the gates of Colossus, where there was a powerful weapon. But when it was used by Abnar Tharn, it was found to have locked away the dragon Kalgrantid and his followers. In this creation's version of Frost Vault, it has been hundreds of years since ESO, and even though some of the dungeon is dilapidated, a lot of the areas are still explorable. You will find the dungeon located within Uttering Hills Cave. Sildred Skapier is an Altmer that has assembled a team to find out what Movnak's real intentions were when designing the vault. He believes that it was designed to extract a dragon's control over fire, frost, and shock magic. When first entering the dungeon, you will come across some tough enemies. I was level 10 the first time I came here, and I couldn't get past them even on easy mode. I believe the dungeon was designed for high-level characters, so try to wait until you're at the end game. After going down the first elevator, you will find out quickly that the dungeon is huge. The first area opens up with a bridge down the middle, a locked Dwemer door at the end, and 3 more doors down at the bottom. Each of the 3 doors takes you to different areas of the vault. You will find that each of these areas is unique in their setting, it's big, and it's easy to get lost. First, you will have to go to each area and find junctions to unlock. Next, you will have to return to those areas and turn valves. There are plenty of enemies to take down, and Sildred makes for an interesting boss. But once you get into Drake Engine, that's where things get pretty interesting. I'm not going to spoil the last boss here, but I will say you need to be prepared for a good fight. If you're already at a high level, then you probably won't have to worry too much about that though. You do end up with 3 unique conjuration spells, and the dungeon is full of chests to loot. I only have a couple of criticisms about this creation. The first is that the enemies are pretty much the same all the way through. They're all wearing the same gear and say the exact same thing as they're fighting you for the most part. I remember ESO being like that kind of, so TrainWiz may have done that on purpose. Another gripe that I have is that the only way to start the quest is to enter the dungeon and read the journal on the table and head to the elevator. I would like to see at least a letter delivered to me by the courier when I reach the proper level for this dungeon. I know that there are plenty of Radiant quests that will bring me to Uttering Hills Cave. I would just like to see something that is made just for this dungeon. The only other thing that I noticed is that the unique armor pieces and weapons that you get are only unique in name and enchantment because they still use the vanilla assets. It would have been nice to get a few new looking armor pieces. These are, however, very minor issues because I had no technical issues at all with this dungeon. Everything ran smoothly and I had no bugs, which is great. At 400 credits, this creation will set you back around $4 US. Now that is assuming you already have credits. If you don't, then it will cost you $5 to get 500 credits. I think that if you already bought credits for something else and you have 400 left over, then this creation is definitely worth picking up. Keep in mind that there is another dungeon that you get with this creation that is just as big as this one. You are going to get at least a couple of hours of gameplay that is very fun and challenging all at the same time. You get unique spells and armor in this dungeon and unique weapons and armor in the other. I know that these creations are in their infant stage, so I would like to give some feedback on what I would like to see in the future of dungeon creations. This is just what I think could make the experience better, not only for the consumer, but for the creator as well. There really needs to be a quest giver, and yes, I'm talking about a voice actor that is unique. This could be as simple as a vendor selling maps to treasures, all the way to new factions with more than one quest giver. The quest line could include some of the original dungeons in the mix. For example, the quest giver tells me to go to this random old dungeon to get a quest item that leads me to the new dungeon. I would also like to see new assets when it comes to weapons and armor. Unique enchantments aren't really that big of a deal once you get to a certain point in the game because you can just craft your own that are way better. So having weapons and armor with unique looks to them would be great. The last thing I would like to see is unique bosses. Reusing the same enemies from the original game is okay, but let's be honest, when people are spending real money on this stuff in the future, I think it's going to be very important that bosses feel new and exciting. I know that one person is going to have a hard time doing this. That's why I would like to see more teams get together. That way each person could add their specialty to the creation. If I got a quest giver, 3 big dungeons with unique weapons, armor, and spells in a future creation, then of course I would spend quite a bit more than 400 credits for that. Thank you so much for watching the video. This is part of an ongoing effort to see if these creations are worth real world money. If you want to see more videos like this one, then don't forget to subscribe. I just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped me out with that. It is really, really exciting. If you want to help the channel directly, click on the super thanks icon below before leaving a comment. Affiliate links are in the description if you want to know what gear I'm using. Did you know that guns are now canon in Skyrim? If you want to know more about that, then check out this video right here. I'm Joey Keith, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Later.